Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. There's a breaking story, not really breaking, but I was a little late. I figured that they were going to be going on for a little bit longer, and unfortunately, the sentencing has happened. It's a story that we covered a while back over the M of a 13-year-old girl by the name of Tristyn Bailey. I talked about this in a pop-up video a long time ago where she was viciously attacked by a young teen by the name of Aiden Fucci. There's been a trial, not really a trial, but there has been stuff going on around this particular case. And today, well, long story short, he was sentenced because he pled guilty. Let's keep it real. This piece of work pled guilty. So there's a couple things I wanted to cover with you guys because I know some of you guys were probably like, "Whoa, that was fast." You know what I mean? Because I was watching it as I was, excuse me, getting my stuff together, getting this cup of Joe in my body, and this just kind of popped up so quickly that I was kind of like, you know what? And the verdict, or not the verdict, the sentencing happened so quickly, and then he was just like, court is adjourned, and the judge just chucks up the deuces and leaves. I felt like we kind of needed to talk about it just a tiny bit because personally, I haven't talked about it since I broke the story on this channel, on my channel, of course. A lot of people broke the story, but I'm saying broke the story on my channel back in the day, and I never kind of came back to it. So this sentencing came very, very fast, very, very quickly, but at the same time, I wanted to rewatch that verdict or that sentencing with you guys and kind of just understand some of the things that have happened that led up to this. And I'm not going to go into too deep of a live with this, okay? Because honestly, may that kid rot in that prison. I'm just going to keep it real. But at the same time, I know a lot of you guys are probably still reeling over it. So if you are coming in from another show, if we're watching it on another channel, or if you were watching it on somewhere else, we're going to kind of go through it, talk about it a little bit, because I wasn't planning on doing this morning, but I found out that there was the sentencing today. I'm like, damn, okay, the sentencing actually happened today. So, of course, I'm like, all right, let's get into this. So we shall. Please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay. And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. And you know, I'm working hard. Okay. So if you can, shoot, I'm going through this, even with this crazy cold that I got that I'm fighting through every single day. Okay. This is a cold that just will not let go. I swear to God, it is insane. But nonetheless, I'm here to give you guys the news. So please hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Anyway, let's get into this thing. Okay. Because like I said, it's not going to be a long live because I got another live that I was planning on doing this morning that I'm still planning on doing this morning. So just be on the lookout for that when that goes up, and make sure your notification bells are on, guys. Okay. Because I know some of you guys are still not getting notifications in due time. Okay. But one of the main things I know for a fact we're going to want to see is the actual moment of his sentencing. So I want to show you guys that real quick, because honestly, we should look at that. Now, if you don't know, actually, no, let me take that back. Let me rewind for a second before we go into that part. Okay. So just a quick recap. Okay. And it really is very simple. Okay. This kid, this monster, okay, attacked a young girl by the name of Tristyn Bailey and attacked her over 114 times. Okay? So I want to make that abundantly clear. He attacked He attacked this young girl, if you get what I'm saying, over 114 times. Okay? So let's go into a little bit of a recap on what we need to know, and then we will go into more. Okay? We'll go into the sentencing. Because I think for some of y'all, you may not remember. Okay? You may not remember, or you may have, you know what I'm saying? Forgotten. So I'm going to try to give you guys a tiny recap, okay? And hold on. Kelly Bruner, hey Pascal family, I got a notification today. Great. After following your directions on the subscribe button, unsubscribed, set it to all, and it pops up. Hey, okay, great. So Kelly, everyone do what Kelly did. Well, not everyone, but be sure to try what she did, okay? Unsubscribe, resubscribe, hit the notification bell to all so that whenever I go live, it's right there. Okay? Very, very simple. Okay? Because I know 90, like it's a vast majority of y'all that are not getting your notifications, and it's been pretty wild. Okay? But a quick recap. Okay? So thank you so much, Kelly. But a quick recap, just so we kind of get an understanding of what actually happened here. Okay? For all of us, a refresher, and then we're going to go into his sentencing. So let's rock and roll. Hit the number one. Let me know you guys can hear this.
It's one of those cases that will never go away. May 9th of 2021 will be forever etched in my mind.
Sheriff Rob Hardwick says it is the kind of case a sheriff prays he never sees. The pain of it still felt in Tristyn's community and in the law enforcement that worked it. But Sheriff Hardwick says all of that pales in comparison to the pain felt in the Bailey family.
My heart is broken, and it is devastated.
With whom he has grown close to in the last year, often speaking with Tristyn's father, Forrest Bailey.
For whatever reason, we've been put in this position together, him and I.
Yes,
and with that
it's
being
low.
said, we are forever bonded with each other and for probably the rest of our lives.
Outside of the gruesome details of the case, the role social media played also came into the spotlight, with Aiden Fucci posting this ominous selfie on Snapchat from the back of a deputy's car referencing Tristyn.
The selfie. What was your reaction when you first saw it?
It's disturbing to me, but also too, it's actually helpful in the case too as well.
In a cop car.
Yep. But again, this is one of those cases where you have to use every piece of the puzzle to solve the crime. And in this particular case, again, we're using social media as part of that.
Do you foresee any other charges or any other people being charged in this crime, conspirators or anything else?
I believe now, based on the evidence they have, that there's nobody else responsible for the actual murder of Tristyn. I think we can put an exclamation point behind that. But with that being said, of course, as we go down this road of prepping for prosecution and again, talking to witnesses, things are said sometimes that they didn't say the first time. But as of right now, nothing has come out of the ordinary. Nobody else charged that I know of, unless the state attorney's office has something going on.
As the community sits back and reflects on this case, Sheriff Hardwick says he hopes people will focus on the good life Tristyn lived and the person that she was, not just how she died.
You go to that house, you can feel the love in there. You can feel her in that house she's been memorialized, whether it be family photos, and you can feel the love amongst the brothers and sisters and the family in that house. So again, for me, it's trying to, I wish I could close that door and say, hey, the happy day was over with, the day before Tristyn was murdered, but easier said than done as a sheriff, because I know the family is going to suffer forever.
And as the case moves towards a trial, he hopes the investigative work the department has done can give the Bailey family some piece of justice. But he knows that justice is different from closure.
You want to come to closure, but what is the definition of closure in this? I don't know. Is it prison? I don't know. I know that, for us is that we dot our I's, we cross our T's, and we pay a lot of attention to the family of the victim. And also, too, we present the best case to make this defendant be prosecuted.
In St. Johns County, Katie Jeffries, First Coast News, on your side.
Now it's really sad. No matter what, it doesn't matter. Losing a child in that kind of way is heart wrenching, and it's interesting. It's crazy how much the mother looks like how much the Tristyn looks like the mother. If you go back and take a look, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a little bit of the mother in the background and all that. It's just interesting how much they look alike. No matter what, losing somebody like this, losing someone you love in any type of fashion is heartbreaking. But the fact that this was a 13-year-old girl that was, of course, loving, bubbly, energetic, randomly just taken in such a savage way by a 14-year-old who is arrested and was posting photos and videos in the back of a squad car thinking that he was like some sort of rock star is insane. There's no other way to explain that. There's no other word to describe it. It's mind-blowing. But of course, you know, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of this because, again, before we go into the sentencing, because it's coming, promise, we're going to get to it quickly. But this is pretty mind-blowing how this all went down, what happened to this young girl, how Aiden Fucci, this 14-year-old monster, at the time 14-year-old monster, clearly has no how callous this young man is, this monster is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Okay, but they say, okay, real quick, the body of Tristyn Bailey, 13, discovered on Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021, hours after the teenager was reported missing by her family. She had been, I can't even say these words, and SL'd, I guess, over and over again, over 114 times, guys. Okay, Aiden Fucci, then 14, was arrested on first-degree M in the demise of Bailey in February 2023, just before jury selection was to begin. Fucci, excuse me, changed his plea to guilty. He now faces sentencing of a minimum of 40 years to life. Okay, so who's Tristyn Bailey? She's one of 5 children of Stacy and Forrest Bailey. She lived in Durban Crossing in Northwest St. Johns County and was a student and cheerleader of Patriot Oaks Academy. She's remembered as someone who brought life to everyone around her. Of course, the Howard community, you know, people really are the community around her family are deeply, deeply moved and shook by this whole situation, obviously. Now, Aiden Fucci, or Aiden Fucci, I'm sorry, I keep saying Fucci. Fucci, sorry. Let me make that abundantly clear, it's Fucci, okay? So Aiden Sean Fucci, 14 at the time of the unaliving, was a fellow student at Patriot Oaks and lived near Bailey. Fucci's girlfriend and other friends told investigators that Fucci often talked about unaliving people and specifically said he planned to drag a random person into the woods and S them or poke them. I'll just use that from now on, and poke them. I have to use these code words, guys. While the records of minors under the age of 18 are sealed, state attorney for the 7th Circuit, R.J. Larissa, said Fucci did not have a prior criminal record. Okay. How did she pass? On the night of her demise, a friend said Fucci asked for Bailey's number. According to police reports, he convinced her to leave home and meet at a friend's home. And video footage from a residence shows 2 people believed to be Fucci and Bailey walking east on Saddlestone Drive near the area where her body was later found toward the end of a retention pond. An hour and 45 minutes later, the same video seems to show Fucci heading back alone, carrying his shoes. So he called her up, they got together, they went over to this pond, this retention pond, and he attacked her, took her life, and then left. All within a span of an hour and 45 minutes. Okay, guys? Just a quick recap, okay? An autopsy revealed Tristyn had 114 wounds, okay, poke or cutting wounds around her neck, head, shoulders, arms, hands, and back, according to an unredacted warrant affidavit released by the state attorney. At least 49 of them were defensive wounds, the medical examiner said. So she was fighting for her life. Okay? Fighting for her life. Just a quick recap, guys. Okay? What does Aiden Fucci say happened the night Tristyn passed away? In Fucci's arrest report, and that's good to know, he confirmed being with Bailey at a mutual friend's house and leaving with her at about 1:10 a.m. on Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021. He said he walked around a while until getting to his Castledale court home at around 3:30 a.m. By the way, I just want to point this out. These are 13, 14-year-old kids. Why are they out at 1 o'clock in the morning? Why is he out walking around at 3:30 in the morning? Now, I'm not trying to say anything about the parents or anything. That's not a dig at the parents, but at the same time, it must have been like they snuck out somehow, because 3:30 in the morning and you 14? Man, I see some grounding coming up real soon. You ain't playing no Xbox, no PlayStation. You know what I mean? No more Game Boys. Y'all play Game Boys anymore? I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? I'd be done with that. So, but an investigator said Fucci kept changing his story. Clearly, finally, Fucci, and let's not forget the photos and the videos of him in the back of the squad car. Let's keep it reals. That's a dead giveaway in my personal opinion. He was in there like, yo, like, you about to throw up gang signs, for crying out loud. Okay? Crazy. Okay? So he kept changing his story. Finally, Fucci said they got into an argument and he pushed Bailey to the ground where he struck her head. She struck her head, okay, when she fell. And that's all you say? So he was arrested on a charge of second-degree M in her demise. They later upgraded the charge to first-degree M, premeditated due to the brutality of the crime. And of course, he was charged. He was being charged as an adult. Okay, so that is one piece of information that we know. Now, I got more that I got to get into here really, really quick, because we are going to look at the sentencing here, but there is another piece here where, of course, he goes into trial, or, you know, he goes in, he pleads guilty, but then on top of all that, he, before the sentencing, he issues an apology. He writes a letter, okay? Now, the one I had here I thought would be good enough, but I don't think it's going to be big enough for everybody to see. Let me see if I can find a little better one here. Damn. Okay, this is a little bit better. I mean, obviously it's written out, it's typed out, but I'm going to show you that he really did write this. It is in his own handwriting. Take a look at this. See right here? Dear Judge Smith, this is his handwriting. My name is Aiden Fucci. I'm 16 years old. Okay? So, but they wrote it out here so that we can have we can actually read it. Because, you know, sometimes handwritings can be knucking crazy. Okay? So let's look at this. And then we're going to look at the sentencing. All right? But he grew up. I mean, it's only 2 years. He's 16 now. He was 14 when he committed this crime. It's pretty wild to me. Okay. He couldn't even spell the Bailey family last name right. Real talk. Crazy. Anyway, let's look into this letter. This is after he already said, I'm guilty. He didn't say I'm innocent. He said, I am guilty. He pled guilty. So all he had to do was sit there and wait for his sentencing. Okay. True, that one girl, yes, he does have a learning disability. I'm not trying to knock any kid or anybody who has an LD. Okay. Not at all. But still, it's just very interesting. When you, I would feel like you would remember something like this. I mean, you just took somebody's life. I'm sorry. It just seems a bit still disjointed, still disconnected. Like I'm saying, this kid is a sociopath. He's not feeling guilty of at all, in my personal opinion. Of course, he had to plead guilty. He probably realized there was no point in fighting this in court because he was going to lose no matter what. This is a very disconnected kid. He already was saying to his friends that he was going to, do something, unalive somebody out in the woods at some point. And guess what? He did exactly what he said. This is somebody who is not right in the mind. And that's sad. And it makes you wonder, is this nature or is this nurture? Was he born this way? Or was this the environment in which he grew up in? So in a way, I keep wondering to look into the family. I hate to say it like that, but maybe. Right? But we got a lot to talk about parents and family today. I'm giving you guys a fair heads up today. We got some things to talk about, fam. Okay? So let's get into this. So it says in this letter, Dear Judge Smith, my name is Aiden Fucci. I am 16 years old. First off, okay, so he might be dyslexic. Or this person might have said it wrong. Nope, it says first off in his handwriting too. Okay, so first off, I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the pain I caused to the Bailey family. I'm sorry to the friends, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, and any other family relative. I'm sorry that you didn't get to know her that long. You did not have any long relationships with Tristyn, and for that, I'm sorry. For the community, I'm sorry. I brought this pain on every day, and I'm sorry. And I know my apology will not fix anything or bring her back, but I hope it helped in some way. I hope it helped in some way. Let me blow this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. So this is a very interesting apology letter. And for my dad, I am sorry that he had a bad spot in work because of me. I miss being outdoors with my dad and brothers. I miss the fun we had, like four-wheeling or four-welling, paintballing, going on long car trips. Dad, your made things fun, like the tarp to the four-wheeler so we could slide on the tarp behind. Dad, you're special because you made fun out of nothing. Love you. To my mom, I want to send my apologies as well. Okay. I'm sorry that she had to move her house because people were sending threats to the house and my family. and that my lit brother and sister had to charge schools because of me. Mom, now I miss your lemon pepper chicken. Lemon pepper chicken? What? Okay. I miss your hugs. I miss you. The longer I'm in here, the more I forget, the more memories I lose. I will never forget you love me. Aiden Fucci. So that is the letter. Very interesting letter. Okay. And yes, there's some spelling, grammatical errors, etc. Okay. But he also is a kid. He's a little monster. I'm gonna keep it real. Okay. I ain't team Aiden Fucci here. All right. Not at all. But this is his letter that he put out. And it keeps something still burning in me, wondering if any of this, and I'll just show you some of his writing. This is his handwriting right here. It just still makes me wonder, is this nature or nurture? Okay. And sure, he might have an LD, and that's fine, a learning disability. That's fine. There's a lot of us that do, okay? A lot of people out here do have learning disabilities. It's okay. But interesting. It's just very, 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 very interesting. Anyway, is this nature? Was he born this way? Or was this the surrounding that he had in his life? And from what I'm seeing here, it sounds like the family was very loving and, everything was Gucci. So I don't know. Seems like he was born this way. But mama made lemon pepper chicken. Come on now. Lemon pepper chicken? Yeah, baby. Okay. Now I'm getting hungry. You know what I'm saying? But this is very interesting nonetheless. Okay. And yes, Thunder, I agree. Okay. It doesn't excuse taking the life of somebody. Nah. Okay. I got friends that are the most brilliant people in the world that have learning disabilities. Some of them are brilliant lawyers, amazing doctors. They're saving lives and keeping people out of jail. You know what I'm saying? They're contributing to society. They're not taking people out of society. So learning disability does not mean that you out here just going psycho, okay, on people. No. It adds to maybe where how his mind works, unfortunately, in this situation. Okay. But yes, moving on. Now, the thing is we have that. All right. So he did this to this young 13-year-old girl, Tristyn, attacked her over 114 times. He at first lied. Then he went back and said no, that he pushed her and she fell and she hit her head. But hitting her head does not mean what happened when she hit her head. Did the blades of grass cut her up? That doesn't make sense, right? So, of course, they go into trial. Oh, and let's not forget, I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. The photos, the videos of him in the back of the squad car, like he's the dopest, like he's about to be the dopest, like the illest rapper out here kind of thing. Like thinking that he's Drake or something. Pretty crazy, okay? Pretty crazy and pretty telling as well. So they're about to go into trial and he changes his plea. He goes, no, I am guilty. So now they have said, okay, we are going to sentence this kid. So this morning, just a little bit ago, they just ended about 49 minutes ago, just about, with the sentencing of Aiden Fucci. Okay. And we're going to take a look at the last minutes of this sentencing right here, because I want everyone to hear what the judge says, like a little bit of what the judge says, because he says a lot for a while. But I want you guys to hear a little bit before he goes into the actual sentencing. Okay. So be sure to hit that number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this as well. And let's rock and roll, y'all. Oh, and please do me a favor. Do not forget to hit that like button. Hit it, crush it, make a scream out your name. Okay. And of course, do not forget, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. I am going to be back on in a couple hours, very, very shortly, probably back in around noon on another new case that we need to talk about as a family. Okay. We're going to be talking about Scotty. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get into it. All right. And we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about family all over again. Let's go.
Counselors. Individuals had to wait weeks or even months before they could get in to see a grief counselor. I would submit that this case is probably the most difficult and shocking case that this county in St. Johns County has dealt with. In the 20 years that I have been, or 16 years that I have been practicing law, and the 30 years that I have lived and worked in this all of Northeast Florida, this case is one of only a very small few that had this level and this type of impact on the community.
Give it a second, guys.
This court gives this factor great weight. As to the last 2 remaining factors, the effect, if any, of immaturity, impetuosity, or failure to appreciate the risks and consequences of the defendant's participation in the offense, and the effect of the crime, and the nature and circumstances of the offense committed by the defendant. These factors are somewhat combined. "114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds." This court has reviewed and seen more than its fair share of autopsy photos. The autopsy photos in this particular case were particularly difficult. The 49 defensive wounds indicate that Tristyn Bailey was conscious, that she was aware, and that she was doing everything she could to fend off this attack. She suffered a painful, horrifying death from someone that she trusted. Her screams were most likely stifled by her own suffocating lungs. He lured her into a secluded place in the woods near his home, a person that she trusted, and he led her there under false pretenses. There was a heightened level of premeditation in this case. Based on the prior statements that he made to his girlfriend and his friend, he indicated that he was going to kill someone.
Somebody.
At which point he determined that it was going to be Tristyn Bailey, I don't know. But there was going to be a victim. He indicated that how he was going to do it, that he would take them into a wooded place, that he would stab them, he would kill them and then run away so that he could keep on killing. He told his best friend that he wanted to kill someone to see what it felt like, and he wanted to watch them bleed out. This particular crime was committed with the weapon of choice as a knife, which he nicknamed Poker. That required a up close, personal type of murder that is rare. It's unique. The court accepts that in 2019, of all juvenile arrests, only 7% were violent and only 1% of those were homicides. This crime is clearly an outlier, and it was shocking, and it is shocking to the conscious. This court finds that the defendant's participation in this offense was not the result of immaturity or impetuosity. He understood the risks and consequences of his actions. He previously told his girlfriend that he was going to do this. That clearly shows that he had been planning it. He attempted to cover it up by disposing of the murder weapon and throwing it into a lake. He then attempted to conceal evidence by hiding his shoes and shirt and jeans, taking a shower, stealthily entering his home, and then the actions immediately after, with the Snapchat videos in the back of the police car and the story that he made up about pushing her and her hitting her head, which was clearly refuted by the video evidence in this case. All of that shows, and this court finds, that this was not an immature or an impetuous type of crime. It makes it unique. It makes it extraordinary. What is also very troubling is that this crime had no motive. This was not done out of greed. It was not done in retaliation, retribution, or revenge. It was not a crime of passion. It was not a crime that was committed because he felt rejected by her. It was not done in a fit of uncontrollable anger. There was no reason. There was no purpose. It was done for no other reason than to satisfy this defendant's internal desire to feel what it was like to kill someone.
Brian
It was
Koberger.
committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense for moral or legal justification, and it was heinous, atrocious, and cruel. This factor and this factor alone makes this case and this defendant more than just unique. It is for this reason and all of the reasons previously stated that leads this court to the conclusion that there is only one appropriate sentence in this case. Mr. Fucci, if you and your attorneys would please rise.
It's crazy.
Counsel, is there any legal reason why this court cannot impose sentence at this time? No, sir. Mr. Fucci, having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I adjudicate you guilty of the premeditated first-degree murder of Tristyn Bailey. I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years. I order the Department of Corrections to notify you when you are eligible to apply for your review hearing. Madam Clerk, if you will please impose the minimum fines and court costs. Mr. Fucci, you have 30 days to appeal the legality of this court's sentence. If you wish to appeal but cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. You will be taken back to the Duval County Jail and then transported into the Florida State Prison System. We are adjourned.
So there you have it, guys. There you have it. Now, what's interesting is I wish that I need to find an angle where they're showing his face when the sentencing is made, right? That's one thing that I'm trying to find. Let me just see if I can find that. But What say you on the decision that the judge made? Because obviously he is up for reevaluation in 25 years. So by the time he is, what, 41 years old? Yeah, they didn't show him at all. They didn't show him at all, bro. They didn't show him at all. None of the angles that I see so far show him in his reaction. Before, like the day before, he was sitting there like crying and weeping and all that stuff. And I'm sitting there going, come on, man. You're just trying to pull out these crocodile tears so that you can get so that the judge can go soft on you. But at the same time, nah. This judge was not going to go soft on him. Not by a long shot. Let's keep it real, okay? Hold on real quick. I just wanted to show you guys after. Just a little bit of after. Just the family together, the parents holding each other as the mother is crying. Because one thing that the judge did say, one thing the judge did say was that in the very, very beginning of him starting to get into this whole, before he gave his sentencing, he went on for a long speech, okay? But he did say, like, no matter how hard the sentencing is going to be, the family will not fully, you won't fully feel vindicated. There will still be things that you have to work on for yourself in the grieving process and all that. That just because the sentencing is obviously finite for this monster, it doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be finite and finish what's going on with yourself, within you. The grieving process still continues after you leave this courtroom. After he gets locked away, you still got to work on yourself. And he said, I urge you guys to continue to have her energy and her spirit within every choice that you make every single day. And I think what he said was really, really beautifully said, because it's true. If he was to sit there and say, I'm going to give him the ultimate, I'm going to give him the DP, because he was being tried as an adult. And the ultimate, the DP, death penalty, does exist in Florida. It's Florida. Okay, just letting you guys know. It be Florida, okay? So damn right they got the DP. So, but he's not getting that. He's getting life in prison, okay? Life with reevaluation in 25 years when he's 41 years old. I'm telling you right now, this kid is never going to see the light of day ever again. This kid is going to be there forever. He's never coming out. 25 years from now, he's going to be even worse, because he's going to be running around with all these other terrible, dangerous people for 25 years. You think he's going to be fully rehabilitated to be able to be out here in this world when he savagely took the life of this young girl in this kind of fashion? I don't think so. Okay? He will be 41 years old when he is reevaluated. Okay? And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised Joe Rogan not being scared of Florida, because it's Florida. Okay? So one thing I want to say is, yes, because this is also for every single family member. You know, we just had Diana Irion, okay, Naomi Irion's mother, on the show. They are obviously seeking justice for that Horde 41, right? That piece of work that did this unthinkable thing to Naomi Irion. They have gone through so much of the grieving process, etc. And I urge the same thing to this family here, that grief is going to be there, no matter if he was going to see the chair, injection, even firing squad, because that stuff's being implemented now. Even though that person's spirit is removed from this planet, does not automatically mean that you suddenly feel like a weight has been lifted and everything's okay. You still have to go through the work. You still have to go through the grieving process. And it's been 2 years since this young girl, almost 2 years, I'm sorry. Almost 2 years since this young girl was savagely taken from this world. And you can see they're still going through it. Now that this man, this monster, okay, basically Anthony Perkins, for crying out loud, has been now sentenced to life in prison. Now this gives the family and the parents an opportunity to find peace and go work through the grieving process. Live through her spirit, live through her energy, and turn this negative thing into something really beautiful and really positive. Now that this man, now that this monster is gone and is locked away, they can finally start doing that. But I still ask you guys, what say you? What are your thoughts on this? Okay. Shoot, you're right, Debbie. I mean, this is like Anthony. This is, yeah, Hannibal Lecter, a nice Chianti. He's insane. Clearly, he's off. Clearly, there's something off in his mind. Clearly. But what say you guys? What are your thoughts on this? He was 14 when he committed this crime, this unthinkable thing. He did something very savage. He was being tried as an adult. The DP could have been put on the table. But let me tell you this. Let me tell you. I think that was part of the reason why he pled guilty. Hear me out. There might have been a deal thrown on the table saying, hey, if you plead guilty, we'll give you a lesser. You won't be facing the DP. You won't be facing the ultimate if you plead guilty. That could have been the situation where it's like, hey, you could be looking at 40 years to life without the possibility of parole, or life with the possibility of parole if you plead guilty. And maybe that's why he changed his plea to guilty, so that he wouldn't see the possibility of getting taken from this planet. That could be it too. Now, I understand. I was just about to say this. Minors can't get the DP. I know, you're right. In Florida as well, they don't do that. But the thing is he was being tried as an adult. He was being charged for first degree M, as an adult. So that option, that possibility could have still been on the table. But because his team, I'm sure, worked something out, they probably came to him and said, hey, you need to plead guilty. Everything's pitted up against you. There's no way you're going to win. There's no way. And if you plead innocent or not guilty, they're going to throw the ultimate on you. Maybe. Or maybe not. But that's my theory. That is my theory. Because what he did is very savage. What he did is very, very savage. Unthinkable. Extremely premeditated. He was saying to other people how he was planning on going and doing some very, very bad things. He wanted to unalive somebody. He said, I'm going to unalive somebody out in these woods. And guess what? He found somebody. And then the other thing is why Tristyn? Why her of all people? Still strange to me. But nonetheless, I'm going to say this. I'm very happy that he got life. I don't like the idea that he has a possibility of, reevaluation, possibility of parole, whatever the hell it is, in 25 years. That doesn't sit well with me. But at the same time, he ain't going to get past it. There ain't no way he going to get past that. 25 years, he's going to be 41 years old. Unless he finds Christ or the Nation of Islam, there is no way he's going to go in there and say, I'm a fully rehabilitated individual, when he literally goes through the rest of his developmental years in prison with some of the most diabolical, the most dangerous mother lovers in that state. I don't think so. Exactly, Nicole B. 41 and still crazy. And that's even if he makes it to 41. That's if he makes it. And that's him being lucky as hell if he makes it. You feel me? It's either he finds Christ, he finds the Nation of Islam, or he finds the Brotherhood. You get what I'm saying? And the Brotherhood's not a good look. Last I checked. Okay? So, there you have it. Life in prison. Life in prison. I'm telling you, it's life in prison. 25 years from now, he ain't getting out. And if he does, that's if he made a complete 180 change in his life, which I doubt he will. This is a bad apple. This is a bad kid. And he needs to stay there for as long as he is on this planet. I pray and hope that the family finds peace. In fact, yeah, I just hope this family finds peace in this situation, brings them closer together. Because all they got is themselves, is each other. And that's what they need. They need to go through this grieving process in the best way possible. They got their justice. I know maybe it might not be what they wanted. Maybe they wanted him to see the chair. I don't know. Or something more. I don't know. But justice was served, I believe. I don't think we're going to be seeing this kid lasting 25 years. I hate to say that. Prison's a real thing. I don't think he's going to be coming out anytime soon, y'all. That's just what my personal... I don't think he's going to be lasting very long. That's what I'm going to say. But this is the time for the parents and the family to find strength within each other and live their life through the energy and through the light of Tristyn Bailey. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Chopping it up with me. I will be back on around noon because we got to talk about this Scotty Morris situation. We need to talk about that. Okay? So we're going to be talking about family again. So be sure to be back here at noon, 12 Central Standard Time. So that is about an hour and 45 minutes away from now. Okay? Just about. Okay? So be sure to tune in. I'll be back on to talk about Scotty Morris and that whole thing that's going on with him. Okay? So, yes, I'll see you guys soon. Be sure to hit that like button down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay? Of course, be sure to hit that notification bell. Make sure it's set to all. Okay? And if you want to support the channel, by all means, hit that join button down below. That would be greatly appreciated as well, okay? Help me out and help keep these purple lights on, okay? I appreciate it. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I'll see you guys in just a short while. Less than 2 hours from now, I will be back on with a brand new story, okay? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.